For the next award, we invite Ms. Katarzyna GARDAPKHADZE to the front, First Deputy Director of the Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights at the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. She is responsible for managing its operations, overseeing the preparation, coordination, and implementation of the activities of the election, democratization, human rights, tolerance and non-discrimination programs, and of the contact point for Roma and Sinti issues, as well as formulation of the ODIHR public message. Between 2003 and 2011, Mrs. GARDAPKHADZE served as the Director of Conflict Resolution, Human Rights and Child Social Welfare Reform Programs in the South Caucasus. Between 2000 and 2002, she led programs focused on human rights, minorities, and inter-ethnic dialogue in Western Balkans.
In recognition of her leadership and dedication for peace, religious liberty, and freedom of conscience for all people, and for the outstanding missions of the Office for Democratic Institutions and Human Rights, the International Association for the Defense of Religious Liberty, in memory of its founders, Jean Nussbaum and Eleanor Roosevelt, is pleased to honor Ms. Katarzyna GARDAPKHADZE and the institution she is representing with the International Award of Excellence as an Ambassador for Liberty and Peace.
Thank you very much. I am really very, very humbled, but also recognizing the weight of responsibility that comes with the trust that I have been given with this award. And I will be brief, but I want to say a couple of things about war and peace. There's only one thing that really, truly terrifies me in the entire world, and this is a war. I come from the generation that has been raised between the communist propaganda that was portraying a war, especially the Second World War, as a combination of martyrdom and heroism of Poland, and very rare personal accounts of terrifying near-death or death experiences by family members. And I remember I was once walking with my father on the beach in the evening, and it was a beautiful red sunset, and I told my father, I said, look, turn around and watch how beautiful this red sunset is. And he says, I know, but I'm not going to see it, because it reminds me of the screams and smells of a burning city, as we were led like cattle to a train ramp after the fall of the Warsaw Uprising. When that happened, he was 3 years old, and we had this conversation some 40 years after the war. And I think it is kind of a pity that we have become so good in commemorating wars and martyrdom. We have built monuments, we have museums, we have eternal flames, we have so many of places of commemoration. We have one country in the OSCE that has more than 100,000 monuments of war. And if you travel around, this is what you see. And we should have them because they remind us of the fallen, of the victims, but they also tell us of the mistakes of the past that should not be repeated. The problem becomes when they are becoming a part of glorifying the war, because war is not glorious. It's about pain, it's about lack of dignity, it's about destruction, it's about everything that's the worst in the humanity. So my dream is, and that's also my personal commitment, that we as humanity become better at commemorating and celebrating peace. Not the negative peace, which is the absence of war, but the positive peace of the dreams of Eleanor Roosevelt, Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, and many others. The peace that is with the rule of law, with justice, with equal opportunities for everybody, with social guarantees that are for everybody equally and not just for the selected few, with people who are protected and who are respected because of who they are and not because of any social characteristics that differentiate them. And I know I have learned in my life that the distance between a dream and a reality is called action. So I here declare my personal commitment for action towards such peace and hope that everybody will join. Thank you.